Welcome back to the last topic of the chapter. In the previous video, we studied the various characteristics of living things. And what were these characteristics? That all living things need food. The first and the most important characteristic. The second characteristic was that all living things show growth. The third characteristic was that all living things respire. The fourth characteristic, that all living things respond to stimuli. Okay, so till now we have studied the four characteristics of living organisms. Let's move on to the next characteristic, that all the living organisms excrete. Okay, what do you mean by excrete? Excrete or excretion means the process of getting rid of waste waste products by the living organisms. Okay, now what are the waste products? You all know that whatever food is eaten by us, that is, some part of the food is digested and the other part of the food remains undigested, and that undigested food is thrown out from our body. Okay, so that is how we get rid of the waste. In the same way, we pass urine, that is also a waste product. We sweat excess water. So all these are getting rid of the waste products by the living organism. So in fact, it's not only we who are doing excretion, but it is the other animals also which excrete. Okay, now the question is whether plants also excrete. Yes, the answer is that plants also excrete, but it is a little different in plants. Okay, so what do the plants do? The plant find it possible to store the waste products within their parts. Okay, plants can store the waste products in their parts. Okay, whereas some plants, they remove the waste products as some secretions, like you must have seen in gums. Okay, raisins and gums, these gums that we get from the plants, actually it is a waste product. Okay, so plants also throw out some of the harmful or poisonous materials from their body parts. Okay, the next is, do all living things reproduce their own kind? Okay, the next characteristic is all organisms reproduce. Okay, you have seen that birds lay eggs in the nest. Okay, these eggs, after some time, they hatch and the young birds come out of them. In the same way, animals reproduce their own kind. Okay, some animals give birth to young ones, whereas some animals produce the young ones by laying the eggs. Okay, for example, you have got birds, snakes, hen which lay the eggs. They reproduce by laying the eggs. Then there are animals like dogs, cats, cow. Even we human being also give birth to the young ones. Okay, in the same way, plants also give birth to the young ones. Okay, how? See, germination of the plant. You all know that when a seed is sown in the ground, slowly the seed starts germinating into first it germinates into a small plant, and then slowly it becomes bigger in size, isn't it? It becomes bigger in size and it becomes a plant, or it may become a tree. So some plants, they can reproduce through cuttings. Okay, you all know that how does a rose reproduce? You must have seen that rose reproduced by cuttings. Okay, you can cut a part of the rose. Okay, from the rose plant, you can cut one part of the rose or a stem, and then if you fix it in the ground, you will get a new plant of rose. Okay, so just like animals, plants also reproduce. Okay, that means all living organisms reproduce. This is the another characteristic. Then the next characteristic is, do all living things move? Yes, of course, all living things move. Okay, all the animals, even we human being, we all move from one place to another place. But what about the plants? Do the plants move? You all have seen that the plants, they are anchored to the soil. Anchored to the soil means they remain fixed in the soil. So that means they cannot move from one place to another. Okay, but even though they do not move from one place to another, if you remember, I told you that the plants show some response to certain stimuli. Okay, I gave you an example of touch me not plant. If you remember in the previous video, touch me not plant shows response to the stimuli. So that is actually a kind of movement. In the same way, children, if you have noticed the sunflower, okay, the sunflower moves according to the movement of the sunlight. Okay, you will see that the flower, the sunflower, wherever the sun moves, when it starts, the sun rises from the east, and slowly you all know that it comes by noon, it comes in the middle, it's on just about on top of our head. Okay, then again it moves to the west, and it goes and sets in the west. So in the the sunflowers, they respond to the stimuli. That means the flower move according to the movement of the sun. Okay, so you can see here that plants also show some response to the stimuli, or you can say in a way they also show a little bit of movement. But that is not the case with non-living things. Okay, non-living things cannot move. There are some things like a bus or a car or a clouds that can move. Okay, bus can move, car moves, clouds also move, but that is something different. Their movement is different, isn't it? A bus, a car, they all move because of the machines. Okay, they move because of the machines. The small piece of paper can move because we are moving it, external force. Okay, so you can see that every organism reproduces, and all the organisms move from one place to another place. Okay, and then in the same way, one more common characteristic is that all living things die. Okay, every living organism, they reproduce their own kind, and after that, at a particular age, every organism will die. Okay, and that is why they reproduce. That is why every organism reproduce. Otherwise, what will happen? Every organism has to die at one point or the other. So if they die, what will happen? There will not be organisms of the same kind. So that is why every organism reproduce, so that they can produce their own kind. So these are the various characteristics of the living organisms. Okay, what are they? All living organisms need food, they respire, they respond to stimuli, they reproduce, all organisms show movement, they grow, and finally they die. Okay, so these are the characteristics of living organism. And with this, we have come to the end of the chapter. I hope, children, that this chapter is clear to all of you. Please read the chapter once again, and if you have got any doubt, you can contact me. Thank you.